You're now watching a clip from the Inspired by show. You can watch the full episode on our YouTube channel or listen on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. So make sure to head over there, leave us a 5-star rating if you enjoyed it, and follow the show. Was it like a quick decision? Was there any part of you that still wanted to do the modelling? Or what sort of made you go, do you know what? No, 100%, I'm into performing, I'm into singing, this is my future.
I stayed, well, I was a model for a long time, and my experiences with modeling gave me the biggest butterfly in the stomach possible. Like, I was so in love with the whole career and the idea of being a supermodel, which is something I did not achieve, but that was my goal. But music was a slow transition, but it was so much more fulfilling. I don't know how to explain that. It's just something that felt, as I said, naturally right. So, a lot of effort to be a model. Your skin had to be in a certain condition, your smile, the way you talk. You had to have etiquette, like, classes. It was really odd. It was really unnatural. And I was always very spontaneous and very legit about who I am. So I was like, hold on, what am I doing? I'm going into something that doesn't really fit who I am. I have to pretend to be someone else to achieve this. And I was like, nah, it's not for me. Music, I was being myself. I was singing things from my heart, experiences of things I was going through, my little breakups with my exes and things like this. So I was like, this is sick because people are liking it. So I would say there was a very smooth transition. But at some point it just clicked. And it was when I actually was retaliated by the modeling industry, because my body started changing. Of course, you go out of puberty and you become a woman. I'm Brazilian. We naturally go curvier, but the patterns back then, the fashion patterns, like the body patterns, was like European, very lean, skinny. And that is really difficult to achieve in Brazil, apart from a couple of girls that comes from like German backgrounds or Italian backgrounds, which I am Italian, but something went wrong. And I was just like full on Brazilian body, like quite curvy. And I remember this very day, that was where actually I said, no, I'm not a model anymore. I am a full on musician, because music, I would say the music saved my life that day. Because I received a call. I was doing a couple of castings. At this point, I was already being labeled as a plus size model, which back then was a size 38-40. Insane. Here in the UK is a size 8-10, I think, if I'm not wrong. Wow. Insane. And they were putting me in a couple of castings, trying out to see if it would work. And then in the end, I remember that they'd spoken to me and they said, look, we put you through a couple of castings. I remember just getting home from the castings, and they said, no one liked you because you're too fat. I'm sorry to say that. I know that you're with us for a long time. And at this point, I was a very successful model. I was going, I was doing Europe, like fashion weeks and all of these fashion tours and stuff. So I was an international model at this point. But because my body changed about 5 kilos, back then at that point, they said, there is no more beauty in you. We can't see beauty in you anymore. So we're cutting you out. That was insane. I laugh of desperation, honestly, because I can't. Nowadays, we are so much about, acceptance and just loving who we are. And I'm all about that. That's what I preach in my songs and stuff. So for me, it was so weird to see someone preaching to me that I was not beautiful anymore. Like, there was no beauty in me. And that's such a strong thing for you to say to someone. So that's when actually music saved my life, because I had a massive mental breakdown. That's so early in the interview. I'm talking about my mental breakdown, but
it's okay.
I had a massive mental breakdown, and I went to a very dark place. And, I remember the scene of me sitting down, like crying, with high heels. I just came back from the casting, so I was pretty much like a model figure. And I was looking at myself in the mirror and hating myself, because they just convinced me on a couple of calls that I was gross. And I was like, I just hate myself. And I really thought about ending up harming myself. And instead of that, when I saw that situation, because I had like a hysterical moment. I broke the mirror, like that was the way I felt of putting out what I was feeling. I was really young. So that whole situation kind of looked like a music video for me. And I was like, I'm not going to harm myself. No, I'm going to write about this. So I remember just like doing this and sitting down on my computer and starting writing my song, Queen of My Mind, which is my debut single from when I signed here in the UK and started my career as Bellsavvy.
Wow.
The music literally saved my life that night, because I know I would go to a very much darker place than I was, because it was very painful what I was going.